Hi everyone, welcome to this week's reading. So this is for the week of October 31st through to the 6th of November. So this week I'm using cards from the Mythic Tarot. And I'm going to start with the, not the Mythic Tarot, I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot again. I might use the Mythic Tarot next week actually. So the astrology. This week, the energy is very different to last week. Last week and the week before there was a lot of intense energy around. Last week, we had the unpredictable energy, sort of agitation and tension in the air. Sort of a lot of people may have experienced headaches or stress last week or heightened anxiety. This week, the energy kind of, it's starting to settle down a little bit from, the 31st onwards, because we have a lot of aspects from Sun, Moon and Mercury, which are all in the sign of Scorpio, and they're all making aspects to Neptune. So they're making trine aspects to Neptune. Right now, the Moon is actually trine with Neptune, so it's a very spiritual energy. It's a very, very appropriate for the Halloween energy, because it's kind of like seeing behind the veil of reality into a different, level of perception into the spiritual realms. And also, for this type of energy, there's a lot of sort of feeling, a lot of emotion, a lot of depth and intensity of emotion, but also connecting with something higher and spiritual. So, really processing a lot around relationships, I feel, and thinking deeply about relationships and spiritual matters, and also about your passions and what really interests you in life. And what else can I say? Neptune, at the moment, it's still in its retrograde cycle, but it actually starts to go direct soon. So not this week, actually, but I think it's next week. I'll have to double check that, but definitely not this week. But what I would say about this with Neptune in its final stages of its current retrograde cycle is you're really sort of seeing relationship situations more clearly in terms of what you want for your life. You may have spiritual connections with people, but if those relationships are not practical to your life, well, it's not something that you're going to pursue. Scorpio is about knowing yourself and about really knowing what you want. And because of the aspects with Neptune, it could have us thinking about soulmates, spiritual connections, our relationships in an ideal way, but also in a very practical way. And also it has been kind of a bit of a reality element to relationships, because we've just had Venus conjunct Saturn in Sagittarius, and that's a very kind of dampening down energy around relationships and thinking a bit more critically and truthfully with ourselves and processing things more truthfully on an inner level about relationships. So it's an interesting energy. So once Neptune starts to go direct soon in a week or two, the energy is going to shift again, and it's going to be more around kind of being more idealistic again about our spiritual connections with people. But so it's good at this time if you're having really realistic, understanding about your relationships at this time, and seeing people for who they really are in the earthly realm, and realizing, that person's not good for me, or that person's toxic for me, and really moving on kind of from, moving past these kind of heavy, deep, thinking of, around emotions and relationships. So it's a bit of a complex energy, even hard for me to express. But, it's really considering deep soul connections, soulmates, people that we have karmic connections with, people that really have an impact on our lives. But the practical side of us is thinking, is kind of sorting out which relationships, are the real ones for us, for our lives now, and which ones are just, more on a spiritual level. So I hope that makes sense. So let's see which cards resonate for this week with all this Scorpio energy and the Neptune influence coming in. Just going to lay them out like this. Okay, so let me see what I'm drawn to. Oh, there's a couple really jumping out. So let's go with the one in the middle. This one also is getting my attention, and definitely this one here. Okay. If you'd like a personal reading with me, I do private readings, and there's a link below this video to my Etsy store, and you can read customer reviews and look at all the different types of readings. I do astrology, chart readings, transits, and psychic tarot and oracle readings. Let's see what's come up for this week. 2 of Wands, 7 of Swords, the Knight of Swords. Okay, so I'm just going to take a minute to really tune into these cards here. There's a very strong masculine theme here. So there could be someone in your life, a male person, or you yourself, that's in focus this week. And with this card here, I'm really drawn to how these two paths are diverging out from this one path. And for some people, there looks like there is some kind of decision-making process going on. And it's about very practical matters, but it's also about your life path moving forward. And so this week, there's something about intuition here that's really getting my attention, because I don't know if you can see it in the card, but there's actually a deer in the background there. And I feel like, he's made eye contact and made a connection with this animal, and it's almost like it's speaking to him, and he's trying to decide which path to go on. So for some people, the last couple of weeks may have brought some big shift and big change, and now it's like a new pathway, or a couple of new pathways are opening up, and a decision is having to be made about where you're going next in your life. Now this is interesting, and I feel like these two go together. It's interesting because they both have the blue there, and this one's red, and that they're both swords cards, whereas this one's the practical realm, which is the wands. Now there's an energy here of somebody not being really honest in some way, or processing something in a private way, perhaps. Maybe processing some thoughts and mental kind of things going on privately rather than sharing it with somebody. So I feel like this relates to needing to make a decision. So somebody is processing something here on a very deep level within, and it relates to some shift going on in their life. The Knight of Swords, it's a very strong energy I feel with this, and but it's weird because I feel kind of conflicted between these two cards. What I feel on the one hand is this person wanting to charge ahead very strongly, like in their heart of hearts they want to charge ahead and move ahead with something, some kind of change on their path. But this card is kind of saying there could be two meanings here, saying to hold your cards close to your chest at this time this week, to not reveal to other people what you're really thinking about your path. Say for example, if you want to, if it's a change of job that you're thinking about, or if you're not happy with your work situation, it's about knowing that and thinking a bit strategically, not sort of blurting it out to people and telling people, which makes sense with the very secretive energy of all that Scorpio energy and the Neptune energy. It's like your intuition will be speaking to you this week about certain changes that you may want to make in your life, whether it's job related for some people, it could be relationship related, or around something that involves some kind of strategy, because that's the Seven of Swords here. But you're kind of keeping that information close to your chest, and that's kind of the advice that I'm getting, is not to sort of blurt it out this week. Last week and the week before were very rough energies, and now it's like the energy is quite more quiet and more subtle this week, and very spiritual. So it looks like your guides are giving you some kind of heads up about some kind of change to do with practical matters and to do with your life path, and you're processing that information, you're receiving that information from your higher self, and you're just waiting to see what you're actually going to do with that information. So even though you may feel you want to charge ahead and make those changes and really be bold, it's kind of like saying just wait and think a bit more strategically before you step forward with that. Also, I want to say for some people, this could be a communication from a male person that, is maybe not being 100% clear or 100% honest about something. So trust your intuition, as I always say, because we know so much more than we realise that we know. And there is something here about something that's not clear, and it could be in terms of a relationship for some people, or it could be in terms of some kind of someone coming forward to you about something, or coming forward with an idea, or coming forward with a communication of some sort. Okay, so that was the reading for the week. And if you'd like a personal reading from me, as I said, just follow the link to my Etsy store, and have a fantastic week, everyone. Bye.